everybody, welcome back to Card Curiosity, where we try to find the best possible ways to make a good return on your investment in the sports card world. And today we have another Rip It or Skip It video for you here, where we try to break down a particular set of cards or box of cards and decide whether it is something that you can rip and make money on and you have the potential to get a good return on your investment, or if it's something that you're more likely to be throwing money away. And so this time we're going to take a look at 2023 Bowman Draft. This came out back in December. It's one of the biggest products every year because you get the chance to pull big cards of some of the hottest prospects from the latest Major League Baseball draft. You can see on the box here, you get Paul Skeens, who's lighting it up in AAA. You get Max Clark, who is, I think, expected to be moving up for Detroit here over the next year or two. Maybe he'll, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see when he will make his debut in the majors. Probably not this year, maybe next year, 2025. But that's the chase here. You're chasing the top draft picks. And yeah, it's a pretty exciting product. Everyone really gets excited for it. So remember, our formula here that we are looking for, we're trying to consider four items as we make our decision as whether we should rip it or skip it. The first is the price, to try and figure out, is this an affordable product for us, or is it too expensive? The second, we want to look at the checklist, make sure that it has the players that we want and that there's not too many no-name players that we're going to be upset with if we pull their cards. Third is the grading possibilities. If this card can be graded and gem, get a 10 from SGC, from PSA, what's the likelihood of getting gem mint 10s? If the likelihood is high, then we're going to have the potential to make more profit, right? And then the last thing we look for is the staying power. Is this a card that will maintain its value over a period of years, or is it something that's just going to be hot right when it comes out? And so let's take a look here, first of all, at the price. And so if we look at David Adams, and this product has been out for a few months now, you're going to see that a lot of their choices they're not even available. So David Adams is trying to get their hands on some of these boxes. They do have a case here of the jumbo box, which has 3 autographs in there. So that's how much a case of that is. If you wanted to buy a single box, you're looking at $775. So this is expensive for sure. The super jumbo box, where you get 5 autographs, you can buy those for $1,200. So one box, $1,200, you get a chance of 5 autographs, or you will get 5 autographs and a lot of paper stuff there. So over at Blowout Cards, you can see they have some of the similar things here. They're also going to be, if you scroll down, you'll see they're sold out of a lot of these things as well. These are getting to be harder to find, but their boxes here for the jumbo 3 autograph version is $775. So right around the same thing. So it's expensive to get a box of these, and so for that reason we are going to price these. It's going to be a 1 out of 5 because it is so expensive. So not a great start here. Next, let's look at the checklist. And the checklist for a product like this is going to usually be pretty big. And so we'll scroll through here, give you an idea what some of these cards are going to look like. And the big chase here, Paul Skeens, here's what his autograph is going to look like. The nice thing is it has this Bowman First logo here, the icon. This is very desirable. It's something that people want. It's kind of like it's their official rookie card before they are actually in the league. Like, this is the card that people want to get their hands on. And so you're going to have big name players. They're going to have some inserts in here like this that aren't totally desirable. But basically the stuff we're looking for is how many players, how many cards. So you got 200 players here. And that's a big list. And these are all people who are not good yet, or at least most of them are not. And many of them are not going to turn into anything big. And so to me, having 200 players in here, it's tough. You're going to have to get really lucky in your box to make money on it. If we go to the autograph side, you'll see that they have a couple different kinds of autographs, the 54 flag variation, draft night autographs. But the big one that we're looking for is just the Chrome Prospect autographs, like the one that we showed you with Paul Skeens. There are 101 of these in here. And if we look at the names, they have different colors, of course. But if you look at the names of these players, These are all prospects. They're not in the majors yet. They may never make it to the majors. There are some that were drafted in the first round and have a lot of hype behind them. But Cole Emerson's one of those. I'm trying to think who else we've heard of. Blake Mitchell, and so it's tough. It's just going to be really hard, I think, to get a good autograph. If you spend $775 on a box and you get 3 autographs, what are the chances that one of them is going to be a really good player? I'd say it's pretty low. And so for that reason, the checklist to me, it's a 1 out of 5. It is too much of a gamble. There are no sure things here, and there's just basically no guarantee that you're going to make anywhere close to your $775 back if you buy a box of this. So checklist score is not good, so we're not off to a great start just yet. But let's take a look at the gem rate. Maybe we can make up some ground here. So if you look at so far, again, and this is just the last 5-6 months here. So we have a little bit of numbers here on how things have gemmed. So there have been, for Bowman Draft, just the regular cards, almost 18,000 cards have been gems. So 26,000 have been graded, 17,000 have been gems. So 65% on the paper-based card, right? The autographs are quite a bit lower, down at 50. And so because the autographs is that's really what we're looking for here. Because that's at 50%, I'm going to have to give this one a 3 out of 5. 50% is not great. I'm glad it's not below that, but it's still, I wish it would be higher. If we look at the 2022 version, same thing. Chrome draft pick autographs, you're at 53% there. It's just a little too low. I'd love to see that much closer to the 60-70% mark. Just so you can see, if we click on here, we'll be able to see which players are getting graded the most. So you have, Wyatt Langford up here, he's grading at 56, Paul Skeens at 53, Jacob Wilson 58. So, some of these players, for whatever reason, certain players are gemming a little bit higher than others, but it's still in that low 50 range. So for me, gem rate at 51%, we're going to give this on the grading scale a 3 out of 5. And so that leads us to the last thing we look at, which is the staying power, and basically how relevant is this card going to be over the next few years? Is it something that we're all going to forget about, or is it something that we're going to want? If you end up having a player that becomes a superstar, like a Gunnar Henderson, how big of a deal is this card? And the answer is it's a very big deal. This is the staying power for the Bowman First cards like this, whether it's an autograph or a refractor. It has some of the best staying power in the league, in the world here. You might compare it to their rookie cards. People are always going to kind of want the Bowman First cards as well as the rookie cards for anybody big. And so you can see what the path has been for Gunnar. There's some hype here in late 2022, and then it came back down. And my guess is that he got called up around here, or they were thinking of calling him up, and he had a little bit of hype behind him. And so you're going to have the ups and downs, but you'll see he's doing really well so far this year. And so even though the cards kind of went low there in the offseason last year after he had a Rookie of the Year season, they are starting to spike up because he's becoming a very good baseball player. If we move a little newer, Gunnar's from 2019. If we go to Jackson Holliday, he was the biggest pick and the hottest guy from the 2022 product, and he was just called up and kind of was a stinker as he got called up. And so you can see his card prices in the last couple weeks, months have been kind of trending down here. And so it's a much shorter time period to look at, but as his hype went up late last year, his card prices went up. And if Jackson Holliday ends up becoming a superstar like many people believe, he's going to be an all-star, maybe one of the better players in the league at some point in the next few years, we could see these cards continue to be desirable versus someone who becomes just an average player. The cards will probably just continue to dip and dip. So one more we'll look at is the more recent from 2023, this particular product. If we look at the autograph for Wyatt Langford, you'll see that when the product first came out, here's what they sold for, kind of dipped a little in the beginning, but the hype behind Langford, he was going to make camp. We kind of knew it early in 2024, and as he started to light up spring training, you can see his autograph prices went up quite a bit. They have dipped since then. He hasn't been playing like terribly bad, but he also hasn't been setting the world on fire in the major leagues. So either way, I think it's important to note, one way to make money from these Bowman cards is you need to find the right players like a Wyatt. And so if you can't pull Wyatt, if there's no guarantee, or if the odds are very low that you're going to pull a Wyatt Langford from this box, then you might as well spend your money buying his individual autograph cards. I would rather buy 2 or 3 of his autograph cards here shortly after they came out and then try to sell them for a little bit more money down the road. So anyway, that'll do it for this particular video. If you add up all the scores, we are sitting on a 10 out of 20, and that's just not very good. To me, this is too much like a lottery ticket, too much of a gamble. And so 2023 Bowman Draft is going to be a skip it on our scale here. We're going to stick with buying the individual cards of the best players that we think have the best upside. We would rather not spend our money opening these boxes. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious.